to be here.
You're so ready to go, but you ain't not that ready to go.
I'm ready to participate.
Yeah, that's for sure. Dude, Eagles lose one football game.
Two.
Technically, 2 football games. Do you have any idea how many times the Broncos have lost 2 football games
Brother,
and I
we
still
lost
put up with
42.
this?
Listen, I was going to say something. I was going to say we got
Yeah, I know.
really
I
bad,
literally.
and then I know you just have the Dolphins game locked and
the
loaded,
lips,
ready to go.
the words left your lips, and my hands went to my belt. I was ready.
Yo, I was like, yeah, but you didn't lose a game 40, and then I was like, wait a minute.
All creation through bomb and form, the greatest to ever do it like Kareem in the form, or Dame at the buzzer, Skip at the rucker, 96 Bulls, the GOAT, there's no other. Bulls and Goats get some wins, but never cover. The word gave the answer to sin. No stuff.
There's your opening for it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Plays. I am your host, Davion, and with me, as always, is the great, awesome, and amazing Eric.
Hello.
Eric, it is playoff season for fantasy football.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, it's not. But for fantasy football, yes, it is.
How many playoff games how many playoffs you made this year?
That's a really good question.
I can tell you I made exactly 2. Out of the
So
5 leagues I'm in.
I'm in 5 leagues. This one I did not. Our ESPN league I did not.
Neither did I. I was close.
I was not.
You were the first one and only one eliminated for a long time. You also beat me this week.
Mm-hmm. I did do that.
Yeah, you smoked me
creamed
this week.
You this
My whole
week.
team was terrible this week.
I am in playoffs for my other ESPN league. I'm actually the 1 seed. I went 10-4. I'm crazy.
10-4, nice. Okay.
Okay. And then I got 3 sleeper leagues.
I'm pretty sure I'm in all 3 of them with you.
Forgettables. I'm on bye this week in
You're
the Forgettables.
the 1
Let's
seed. I'm pretty sure.
I am the 1 seed.
Yeah, my road to the finals is literally Nate, you, and then whoever makes it.
Behind the plays, I did not make the playoffs. I'm first team out. According to the standings.
You actually were not first team out. You were second.
It says I'm 9th. It says I'm 9th, so I don't know.
Wait, no, you should be 10th. You sure? Yeah, you're 10th. You played Papa Twigs. Papa Twigs wasn't last. Big Fish was 8th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're 9th. You were close.
Okay. And yes, I am the 3 seed in our other Dynasty League. The one you're the 1 seed.
Yeah, that's the one I'm the 1 seed in, brother.
I was concerned. I almost didn't make playoffs here.
Dude,
there was a point where I was riding like 7th, 8th, but then I kind of picked it up, and now I'm back to 3rd.
I want you to know there's a strong chance that we are going to play in 2 playoff games against each other in fantasy, because I think there's a chance I beat Nate in Forgettables, especially with CJ Stroud. We don't sure what's going on with him. Travis Etienne, not sure what's going on with him. His backup quarterback is Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I vibe. I have T-Law. I have Browning. Who knows who I'm gonna play? I know for sure though I'm playing the Chiefs defense against New England. Can tell you that much. But it does come down to what's going on with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Nico Collins, because all of them are questionable as we speak. So
yeah.
So yeah. So there's that. And then the other league, I'm just the 1 seed. We'd have to play for the championship, which I would be fine with. Be fun. I truly don't know what it's like. I was a 6 seed last year, and now I'm the 1 seed. I don't know how to feel.
I was the 1 seed last year, and I lost. I got 4th actually. I lost both my playoff games.
Yeah, everything I've been in so far, I've been a wild card. I've never been a division winner, conference winner.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like a top 2 seed. Because even the only playoff finals I've ever been to was that one season where I got dogged on by Alvin Kamara.
I remember that. It was you and
finals. I was
it
so
was
excited
you and our friend Addie in the chip, and we're just like, man, we're out here. And wasn't that game on like a Saturday too for some reason?
Yeah, it was
like
the Saturday. It was a Saturday game, like the Christmas edition ones. It was like week 16 or week 15, and I was like, yeah, I finally made a finals, right? And the crazy part about it is my team played out of their mind. Like everyone had like an insane.
But Alvin
game,
Kamara
but
scored 6 touchdowns.
I could not make up the Alvin Kamara 6 touchdowns because not only did Kamara pop off, it was like he had someone else that had like a 2-3 touchdown day, and like after the first week, because our playoffs were 2 weeks long. After the first week, I was like, man, I was down by like 300 points or something like that. I was like, what am I supposed to do here? And then I ended up coming back, and I only lost by like 70. And I was like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, if only Alvin Kamara didn't exist.
Right.
He had like 90 fantasy points on his own.
Minus Alvin Kamara, you won that game.
I'm saying.
Yeah, not a lot you can do about that.
I'm not going to lie. I felt really robbed of that. And that's anyway, now I have Alvin Kamara on a fantasy team, and I'm like, man, I love this guy.
Yeah, I'm the ESPN league that I'm the 1 seed in. I'm the 1 seed in 2 of my leagues. Goddamn. The ESPN league that I'm the 1 seed in, it's because of Alvin Kamara. I'm almost gonna guarantee.
I traded for him mid-season, and I'm almost certain he's the reason I'm the 1 seed too. Yeah. Him and I got Derrick Henry mid-season, and the last 2 weeks, Derrick Henry has been immaculate for me. So
yeah.
But yeah, didn't need to win last week because the people that were under me all lost, except for I think like you. And I was like, dude, everybody gets a break. Everybody get healthy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of crazy upset nonsense, I saw there was a league record that was done this week. Apparently 8 underdog teams won this week.
Really?
Yeah.
That would explain a lot why we went. What? You went 5-10, and I went 6-9 in our pick'ems.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, this is not a good week for us in the pick'ems department.
Yeah, and like, was picking Seattle the right choice? No. Was it a not so terrible choice after realizing they only lost by 12? Nah, it wasn't so bad. Nah. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what fools picked the Eagles to beat the Cowboys? I couldn't tell you, man.
Fucking morons did that.
Yeah, no one would do that. Of course they were going to lose by 20 points in Dallas. Of course, man. All right. Now, the crazier one was the Patriots. Like, the Patriots came out and won a football game.
They did that.
On the road. I don't understand.
There are people who want Mike Tomlin's head. Like, they want Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh.
Dude, the minute he gets fired...
Oh, yeah, he's not going to last 24 hours.
He's getting 31 off.
He's getting hired by another team. Like, there are, 3 teams right now who've already fired their coach? Carolina, Vegas,
and who?
Maybe it's only 2.
Rumors Bill Belichick's out, guaranteed, by the way.
Right.
The rumors are coming to fruition, but we already heard about it.
Yeah.
We gotta get your sources, man.
So, yeah, look at that. Look at me. My sources are Dan Orlovsky. We got to get his sources.
Yeah, we need his sources.
Yeah. No, so what? It's Carolina and Vegas who have already fired their coach, right?
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin is a head coach in Vegas for sure. Mark Davis hires him on the spot. You kidding me?
Right.
The Panthers don't because I don't think their owner is smart enough to.
Right.
There are a handful of teams that I think would fire their coach to hire Mike Tomlin. Like, Staley's probably gone this year.
He should. If he's not,
Chargers would scoop him up in a heartbeat. I think Tennessee. I think Tennessee would. I think Chicago would.
Chicago's such a cool fit.
I think Tampa might. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody like New Orleans did.
Arizona?
Arizona, maybe? I don't know. I feel like Gannon just got there,
He did, but so did Frank Reich.
Yeah, but that's the Panthers.
True.
So I don't know if that's a different story. About, yeah. Yeah, the point being, Mike Tomlin is...
one of the best coaches in the league. It's not close.
He's top 3 most valuable coaches in this league.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
Yeah. Easily. Speaking of all this, I forgot to go over what the docket was today. I'm sorry, guys. I actually didn't have it up on my phone. The docket today, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things actually that we're gonna go through. First off, I just got a notification. Draymond Green just got suspended indefinitely, and I haven't heard of anyone getting suspended indefinitely in the NBA before in my life. So I thought that was crazy. First off,
if there was one person that would be the first to get suspended indefinitely,
it's Draymond.
I'd put my money on Draymond Green, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm like Dennis Rodman could have gotten suspended indefinitely.
That's a good point. I would have.
Like there are a lot of people.
I would have probably put my money on
Gilbert
Dennis
Arenas
Rodman.
brought a gun into the freaking locker room, and he got suspended for like a season. Not even indefinitely, a season. There have been like permanent suspensions. There's never been like indefinite suspensions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not a suspension if it's permanent. It's more of an expulsion.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, anyway, docket for today. Zach Wilson, there's been rumors of a confirmed trade already that they're going to get rid of him at the end of the season. Bill Belichick is out in New England. The standings in this league are insane for the wild card spots in every single in both conferences everywhere. Every single conference, like there's not more than one. Recap games. We're going to talk about the Eagles game, the Broncos game, of course, because those are the teams that we like to talk about. And we are going to, looks like we are going to talk about a phenom right now in the New York Giants. We'll recap that game and some things that we like coming out of that against the Packers. Lastly, we'll go over our predictions, and then we'll close it out.
Okay.
All right. Well, first off, let's head over to the other side that's not flourishing at quarterback of the MetLife Stadium, the Jets. Zach Wilson, there's been rumors that there's been a confirmed trade. He's getting traded at the end of the season during this offseason. I mean, sure, but why now instead of last year?
Why admit it in the middle of the season, first of all? Which is why I kind of think the rumors are false. You know, that, listen, he might get traded in the offseason. He probably does get traded in the offseason. I don't think that's a confirmed thing. Right. I don't think, like, you know, Robert Saleh has said, yeah, fuck this guy to your face. Fuck you chicken strips. You know, that's a bit ridiculous, I think.
Okay.
There's a decent chance that the rumors are true in terms of that will be the outcome. I don't think the rumor is true, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's not currently true, but there's a chance that it actually comes to fruition.
Right. But maybe that was the fire that Zach Wilson needed, because the Jets went out and beat the Texans by 24 points. And the Texans were one of the hottest teams in the NFL for a long time. They beat the Broncos last week, and why could the Texans fall apart?
I'm going to give the Texans a little bit of benefit of the doubt. CJ Stroud was in concussion protocol. Nico Collins got knocked out early in the game. Tank Dell was unavailable. Like,
exactly. So they've lost a lot of their pieces for sure. And I'm not surprised that they only put up 6 points. But I'm surprised that the Jets still put up 30.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, like, I could see the Jets winning that game like 14-6. But Zach Wilson balled out. Zach Wilson was NFC or AFC Player of the Week.
Dude.
So
the NFC Player of the Week was fucking Tommy DeVito.
I know. Look at us. Couple New York quarterbacks. Couple poverty-ass franchises.
Dude, I saw that tweet and thought it was a joke. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was a meme. And then I looked at it and it was NFL Twitter. And I was like, there's just no way.
Yeah, that's insanity. That's true.
Yeah, right. Right. Last time we would have had that would have been like never, actually.
Never. I don't think the Jets and Giants have never been good at the same time, because the Jets have never been good.
Well,
even when the Giants were in like the late 2000s.
Good quarterbacks. What, maybe like Mark Sanchez and Eli Manning, maybe?
At the same time?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. Because the Giants, they won their 2 Super Bowls in 2008 and 2012. I believe were the seasons, not the years they won the Super Bowl. And the Sanchez would have been there in like 2010. So maybe Eli.
2 years ago.
I remember that game.
That's crazy, actually.
But like maybe Eli and the Sanchez would have won it at the same time, but it kind of feels like the 2 years that the Giants won the Super Bowl were the only 2 years that the Giants were good. Like, even in between, the Giants were not very good.
Mark Sanchez won it exactly one time. By the way, 2010, Week 11.
And who's the NFC Player of the Week that week?
Greg Jennings.
Okay. That would make sense. Because 2010? Yeah, that would have been the year the Packers won the Super Bowl. So
yeah, this is
that makes sense.
Yeah. Somehow, just for clarification. Jay Feely, right? Who was he a kicker for? Atlanta. the time. God, no. He was in Arizona at the time. Okay. So
Gosh, I love Jay Feely.
There was a week. Jay Feely won it twice in this year. There was a week where Deshaun Jackson and Malcolm Jenkins won it in the same week. There was Troy Polamalu, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. This is some wild throwbacks here. Vic and Clay Matthews. Dude, Vic won it like 4 times. Kevin Cobb won it. What?
Mm-hmm. I remember Kevin Cobb.
Ahmad Bradshaw. Okay.
I remember Ahmad Bradshaw.
Okay. Josh Freeman won one.
I remember Josh Freeman.
That's insane. Chris Long won.
Dude,
good for Chris Long.
There's a great video of Jay Feely. Did you know that he started commentating college football games after the NFL?
I did not know this.
Oh my God. There's a great video. I will send it to you after the podcast of Jay Feely calling a game. It's in the MAC, so it's not like, he's doing anything huge. Gotcha. This is the MAC. He's calling a game. It's Toledo and Eastern Michigan.
Oh, worth.
And this is like, I don't know, towards the end of the first. I think Toledo's up like 3-0, and Eastern Michigan's going for a long field goal. And he kicks it, and it's like well short, like a good 10-yard short, right? Mm-hmm. And the other commentator is like, he's like, just short. He's like, couldn't come up with enough. Like literally in the middle of his sentence, right? Jay Feely goes right off the crossbar and sneaks it in and goes on this whole rant about like he had just barely enough leg, and it took him like a good minute and a half of talking about this kick. And he's like, Eastern Michigan knots it up, tied at 3, and then the scoreboard comes up and it's 3-0, and then they cut to commercial. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I'll send you this video later today. Oh, add to the podcast. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
That's hilarious, actually.
Oh, but yes. So Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
Here's the thing: the Jets are. Tell me if you've heard this one before. The Jets are in a whack situation.
What? No way.
Right? Jets. Because even if Aaron Rodgers comes back next year, Aaron Rodgers is like 5,000 years old, right?
Yeah.
The Jets need a future, and do the Jets really want to go draft another quarterback? Like they drafted Darnold. Year. They drafted Darnold, what, 6 years ago now? And Zach Wilson, what, 3 years ago now? Something like that? Because Zach Wilson would have been with T-Law. Darnold would have been with, like, Baker and Lamar.
I'm trying to go all the way to the bottom because for some reason they did this in
I'm pretty sure Darnold was 2018 and Zach Wilson was 2021.
Zach Wilson, James Morgan was drafted in the 4th round of 2020. I don't know who that is. Sam Darnold was 2018.
Yeah, because that would have been with Baker and with Josh Allen and with Lamar.
Yeah.
And Josh Rosen.
Can you name the quarterback they drafted before that? I couldn't. So
I know Sanchez was 2010.
You got...
Knowing the Jets, there's definitely one in between.
There are 5 in between Sanchez and...
5? Like first rounders?
Sam Darnold. Oh, I don't know about first rounders, but 5 quarterbacks drafted.
Then shit, no, I couldn't. I could name a first rounder. Maybe.
I don't think any of them are first rounders.
List them off names.
Okay. So, before Sam Darnold was Christian Hackenberg.
I remember Christian Hackenberg, but he was definitely not a first rounder. Yeah.
Before that was Bryce Petty. He apparently was 1-6 as a starter in his 2 seasons.
I don't even remember Bryce Petty.
Exactly. Taj Boyd.
Don't know who that is.
2013, you know this person. He is still an NFL quarterback.
Drafted by the Jets?
Correct. And is a starter, matter of fact.
Starter?
He is a starting quarterback in the NFL today. Just not for the Jets.
Well, it's obviously got to be a journeyman because he's not on the Jets.
I don't know about a journeyman, but...
Would it be like Nick Mullins?
It's definitely a journeyman, actually. I lied to you. Nick Mullins is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. I guess technically he is a starting quarterback in the NFL, but that's not who I was
thinking. He is. That's why I was thinking it was Nick Mullins.
It's not, I'm not that crazy.
Well, let's go team by team, okay? In the North, it would be Love, Fields, Mullins, Goff. None of them.
Correct.
NFC West. would be Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would have been. It was Geno Smith, huh?
It would indeed have been Geno Smith.
Was he a first rounder?
I believe he fell into the second round. Did he not? He was a second round pick. He was supposed to be a first rounder, and he fell into the second round.
They think that might have been what it was.
He was the 39th overall pick. He did fall to the second round. He was supposed to be a first rounder. Yes, he was basically what happened with Will Levis this year.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess Greg McElroy and then Mark Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah, Geno was drafted by the Jets.
Yes.
Because he broke his jaw. I remember that was his career highlight as a New York Jet.
Yep. And now he's winning football games. Not much.
I know. Look at Geno. Not very many, but look at Geno. Well, actually, isn't Geno hurt right now?
Yeah. Locke is playing. Thank God.
That's right. Yeah, Drew Lock is playing.
Thank God. Honestly, I don't know. Listen, I don't wish ill will on anyone, but listen, DK, can you get suspended for what happened in the Niners game? I need that for my mental health. Why? The Eagles are playing the Seahawks this week.
DK went full Draymond on Fred Warner there.
Fred Warner stood on business though. It wasn't unprompted. It's not like it was just random.
Right.
Anyway, so Zach Wilson.
I'm not going to commit to Fred Warner as innocent.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
I'm not going to commit to that.
Bitch, man, I swear. I wouldn't want to fight him, but So yeah, we talked a little bit about Bill Belichick out in New England, all the rumors. We talked about it a while before. Do you have any other comments you'd like to say on it?
I mean, if the rumors are true that Belichick is out in New England, and that's been true since the game against Indy in Germany, then that was right around the time that we were saying he's already got his next team lined up.
Right.
Which, right now, I think is Vegas. If we're considering the teams right now that for sure need a coach next year. But, there is a movement for Vegas to keep Antonio Pierce, which I'm not opposed to it. I think if he wins we got 4 more weeks. If he wins, maybe 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, I think they consider it. And I don't think he goes to Carolina. He just doesn't seem like he fits in Carolina.
Right.
I don't think Bill Belichick wants to rebuild a franchise.
Now listen.
He wants to go to a team that's decent.
You want to hear something crazy?
The Eagles can't have Bill Belichick. They can't have every player ever.
We don't want Bill Belichick. We don't want Bill Belichick. Actually, that would be terrible for our culture.
It really would, actually. It would be horrible.
You can't see me on the screen because I'm getting really close to my mic. Sorry, guys.
I can hear you, and I can see mentally that you're doing the anime pose where it's just camera on forehead, like you're about to go insane.
Yeah,
I
like
can
Nick
see
Merckx.
Yeah.
So if for some reason this team decides that they don't feel like winning playoff games for another year in a row, could you see the Dallas Cowboys switching from Mike McCarthy to Bill Belichick? I feel like Dallas is the perfect Bill Belichick team.
Listen,
is that not crazy?
I don't think that's in my top 5 realistic situations, but it's not out of my top 10. That's for sure. I could see it.
I see it more than any of the other ones outside of Vegas.
My gut tells me LA Chargers.
The Chargers? Oh, that was my other one. Yeah, those are my top 2.
Because, that's a team that's decently established. You have a veteran receiver in Keenan Allen. You have a fairly young receiver in Mike Williams. You have a great quarterback. You have a decent enough defense, at least with some good defensive pieces. Derwin James, Khalil Mack. I don't think the Chargers would be the worst spot in the world for him at all. I think it'd be a great spot for him.
In before Atlanta.
Here's my hot take. You ready for this one? Mm-hmm. Tampa. Pull a Tom Brady. Put him in Tampa.
I don't know how that would work, but I'm all for it. Go for it, man.
I think they should keep Todd Bowles, but in the same way, I think the Cowboys should probably be keeping Mike McCarthy. But if they didn't,
just saying,
it would be really funny if Bill Belichick was in Tampa.
Yeah, it would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right.
There would be pictures everywhere.
Yep.
Do you remember Bill Belichick in the pirate costume?
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
Me Googling real quick.
This was I'm sure you'll find it. It's a quick Google search. There's a great video of Randy Moss. He was on the Patriots. They were doing a Halloween party, and Randy Moss goes up to Bill Belichick's office and invites him to the Halloween party, thinking Bill Belichick's not coming to this fucking party, right? And Bill Belichick shows up with his girlfriend, wife at the time, whatever, and they're dressed up as pirates. It's great. I think Randy Moss is dressed up as somebody's dressed up as SpongeBob. I thought it was Randy.
This looks like Randy Moss. Let's at another dude that's dressed up as a pirate.
I remember vividly that somebody is SpongeBob.
Bro, what is this? These athletes in Halloween costumes picture just popped up, and I'm seeing Kawhi Leonard smiling.
He's allowed to do that?
I'm saying. And then Manu Ginobili's in a Buzz Lightyear costume, and that's giving me life, honestly. This is great.
Did they lose you for a second? What about Manu?
Yeah, I'm for this. This is great.
Oh, no. I can't hear you if you can hear me.
I don't think I've seen Bill Belichick smile either. Why does this happen to me? Every time. Please fix yourself.
Hello?
Oh my God. Every time, bro. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It just randomly disconnects, dude. I'm so sad.
Yeah. What about Manu?
Oh, Manu was dressed as Buzz Lightyear. It made me happy.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, Bill Belichick, that would be hilarious. Can he just wear that every game, like on the sidelines?
That would be pretty great.
I'm all for that, honestly.
Who the hell was SpongeBob? It's gonna bug the hell out of me.
Hold on, I found a video. Give me a second.
Yeah, this is literally straight from... Yeah, okay, this is 2009.
It was Randy Moss. I'm sorry. The other guy must have not been Randy Moss.
I was gonna say, I knew Randy Moss was fucking SpongeBob.
Sorry, I was gaslighting for no reason. I didn't know. I'm sorry. It looked like Randy. It just looked like... Maybe it was just a thicker Randy. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Anyway. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Anyways, that would be great. It's just to see Bill Belichick in that pirate costume.
Every week.
Every week.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to the crazy part of the NFL and actual literal football talk. Mm-hmm. The standings in the AFC playoff picture are insane. And honestly,
yes,
the NFC wildcard race is also insane.
It's true.
There has officially been a clinched team. The Niners have clinched a playoff spot. The Patriots, even though they won this week, were mathematically eliminated from playoff contention due to other teams winning. And they're the second team to be mathematically eliminated, joining the Carolina Panthers. Outside of those for sures, nothing else is for sure right now.
Yes.
So in the playoff contention, we only have three for sures. The Niners are in for sure. They clinched their playoff berth. The Patriots were mathematically eliminated this week to join the Panthers. And I was talking about some other teams that were joining them. I talked about the tiebreaker with the Cowboys and Eagles. The Cowboys rose up to 2 this week with a win over the Eagles. However, the Eagles obviously could still win their division because of tiebreakers. The Eagles actually have the conference record tiebreaker because if both teams just win out, no losses at all, the Eagles have one more conference win because the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals, us, and the Niners. Well, we only lost to the Cowboys and the Niners. And we lost to the Jets, which is not a conference team.
Which is not a compliment, by the way.
It was not a compliment, but you know what? I'd rather lose to the Jets and the Cardinals right now. Just saying. If we're going to get an L, I'd better be out of conference. Helps you in tiebreakers, as you can see. So, and there's a chance that like any of the top 4 teams in the NFC can all get the 1 seed, and like any of the top like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the AFC can get the 1 seed, low key. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason I say that is like the Niners lose a game and the Eagles went out, they're the 1 seed. The Niners lose a game, the Cowboys went out, they're the 1 seed. All 3 of those teams lose some games and the Lions went out. Guess what? They're the 1 seed. Like there's a lot of chances for all those teams. I don't think the Lions realistically have a chance, like realistically speaking, because there's no way the Niners lose to like the Cardinals. But like, Lions could beat the Cowboys and get a tiebreaker over them, and then
mathematically the Lions could.
Yeah.
Realistically, no.
Mostly because the Lions play the Cowboys and they're a game behind. Yeah. If they beat the Cowboys, they would hold the tiebreaker over the Cowboys, and that'd be really interesting to see after that point. Because like the Niners still have to play the Ravens there. That could be a Super Bowl preview.
Yeah, possibly.
Some cool things we got going on here in the NFL. But let's talk about some of the people that are on the bubble. Let's break it down in the AFC. Right now, the 5, 6, 7, we're looking at wild card spots. They're in. So the 5 seed is the Browns right now, 8 and 5. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams all tied at 7 and 6. I don't know how this tiebreaker breaks out right now, but the Steelers, Colts, Texans, Broncos, Bengals, and Bills all are a 7 and 6.
In that order.
Yes.
I believe.
Steelers, Colts, Texans, Broncos, Bengals, Bills. I don't know how the tiebreaker shakes out, but that's exactly what it is.
I know the Broncos beat the Bills. I know that much. I don't remember the rest of this. So right now, if the playoffs started today, Browns would be the 5 seed, and then the Steelers and the Colts would be in 6 and 7.
Correct.
So right now, the teams on the outside looking in are Houston, Denver, and Buffalo.
Houston, Denver, Buffalo, and Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati, yes. I think when everything shakes out, what's your ideal playoff teams? Let's assume, for the sake of this, that all 4 teams that are currently winning their division do win their division. Because
so
technically,
Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens are clutch. They're clutch.
Yes. Yes, let's assume that. Because technically, Indy and Houston could potentially steal the South. Anybody can win the fucking North. Technically, Denver could potentially steal the West.
Denver's in contention to win the West.
Absolutely.
They're a game behind.
I think the Bills might steal the East, but probably not.
I don't think they do, but they could.
They could. But for the sake of this, let's assume we have Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, Jags.
Okay.
Win their division, go to the playoffs. Who's the ideal wild card teams out of all those teams that are 7 and 6 plus the Browns?
So the Browns, I think they're ideal. I think they're a really good team. I have been doubting them a little bit, but even like Joe Flacco's been playing out of his mind. I think he's perfect for them to make a playoff run, especially with a reeling Jaguars team that they match up in the first round. I think that's possible, right? I think that'd be great for them. After that, I think out of these teams with no Joe Burrow and the mystery with the Texans, I think the Broncos become my favorite 6 seed. I think they're my next favorite team out of all these. And honestly, the 7th seed, I want it to be Buffalo. The reason I want that is like if everything shakes up and you would still get a Chiefs-Broncos game. We've seen that they can beat the Chiefs. It's a divisional game. It'd be really fun. In Arrowhead, it'd be a great game. Miami playing Buffalo with how these games have gone this season once again would be phenomenal. It'd be a great matchup. So I think those right now are my ideal teams. Buffalo has recovered a lot. They beat the Chiefs this week. Honestly, they barely lost to the Eagles. They're getting the Cowboys this week, which I think is very winnable for them, especially since it is in Buffalo. I think they can give themselves a chance to actually make the playoffs to belief that we did not think they were going to a few weeks ago. So I think those are my ideals. If Joe Burrow was playing, I would honestly just tell you, give me the Browns, give me the Broncos probably and the Bengals, because I'd love to see Russell Wilson in the playoffs again. But I'd have a tough time putting the Broncos in and not leaving out the Bills.
Yeah.
So that's like ideal for me. But since there's no Burrow, the Texans are amazing. I love what their story this season. Let's run it back next year when you're all healthy, because you have a very good team. Now you're going to be a stronger team next year. Denver's really fun for right now.
So then we agree that the boring teams here are Cincinnati just because of no Joe Burrow.
Correct. It sucks, but that's the case.
It's the real, yeah.
To be fair though, Browning is popping off. I give him his props, but it's not
for
Joey
sure.
B. It's not Joey B.
But exactly. And Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh is
right?
terrible.
Pittsburgh is probably the least deserving of them, right?
They peaked too early. They're literally having their worst time now. They just lost to the Patriots at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Get them out of here.
So then why not Indy, out of curiosity?
It's not anything against Indy. I think I'd rather see Buffalo and Denver. I think if one of those teams don't make it, Indy's my next favorite.
Okay.
It's just I don't have enough slots. I can't pick 4 y'all. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I really like the Browns. Honestly, I really like what Joe Flacco's doing. I like the team as a whole. It shows they become much more likable when Deshaun Watson isn't playing football. I'll tell you that much.
Weird how that works. Huh?
Weird how that works.
Yeah. So I mean, if I had to pick my ideal playoffs, the Broncos. That one's easy for me.
That's free
right? But that's with bias. So if I had to pick the other two, I agree with you in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think my 7th is Houston, and my first team out is Buffalo.
Okay.
I
don't disagree with that.
I like the Cinderella
Tank Dell,
story
man.
a little
it's just
bit
no
too
Tank
much.
Dell. I think that's the biggest
true,
part of
and
the
that's kind of
Cinderella story.
sucks. I like the Cinderella story, and I like C.J. Stroud and being the rookie, and all that stuff, and I think that's what I like about it.
You want my honest opinion? You know who's the Cinderella story right now? Fucking Denver, bro.
No, Denver is on their villain arc right now. I don't think they're the Cinderella. Okay. They're the Maleficent story.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, and there is even still possibility that like Denver steals the West. There's possibility that Indy or Houston steals the South. So basically, it feels like the Patriots are the only team that's for sure out, and it doesn't really feel like the Jets, Titans, Chargers, or Raiders have a chance. Which means that we have, 11 of our 16 teams in the AFC that I think realistically get a playoff spot, potentially.
Yeah, there are 11 teams that can get there.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah, and it's even crazier because the other, 4 teams that are there, they're only 2 games behind all this.
Right, exactly. Like, Vegas, LA, Tennessee, and New York, if they win out...
One of LA or Vegas win this week because they play each other. So one of them's going to get 6 wins. So they're going to be right there in contention. Mm-hmm. Got some crazy other things. Titans play a Texans team that may not have Stroud because of his concussion. He didn't look the best. Tennessee's been hot recently. The Jets are playing the Dolphins. You never know with them. It's like Dolphins are a little streaky. I mean, you got some solid options here. I think it's going to be really fun.
I agree.
All right. So are we good to move over to the NFC then?
Sure. Let's talk about the wild card situation going over there.
So the big thing with this wild card is I think that 1, 2, 3, and 5, no matter what order, are locked teams. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to the playoffs.
Yes. The reason I say that, the Niners are for sure in the playoffs, right? They literally have clinched a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys and Eagles, regardless of where they finish in the division, they're the 2 and the 5 seed as of today. One of the 2. If everyone just wins out, the Eagles would end up hosting the home game at the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lions. I truly have a tough time believing the Lions don't make the playoffs. However, don't have a tough time believing that they win their division. I think the Vikings can make it. They're 2 games behind. It's very interesting to see what the Vikings are doing.
I think this situation
it's going to be rough.
Yeah. This situation was a lot tighter before Tommy DeVito happened. If Green Bay was still as hot as they were the last couple of weeks, I think we're potentially possibly talking about Green Bay stealing the North. At this juncture,
no,
it's on Minnesota.
After the Tommy DeVitoing, yeah.
At this juncture, it's on Minnesota to steal the North, and that's tough.
I think what we're really talking about here is we're talking about the North. I'm sorry, the South. Mm-hmm. That division.
Somebody's got to win it.
Somebody has to win it. Right now, 3 of the teams are tied at 6 and 7. Okay, and the Panthers are out, so it's just those 3. And then we're looking at the 6 and 7 seed wild cards because I firmly believe the 5 seed is going to the loser of the NFC East.
The 5 seed is basically locked.
Yes, it is the loser of the 2-man race in the NFC East. It's one of those. It's either the Eagles or it's the Cowboys. It's going to be one of the 2. One of them is going to be traveling to an NFC South opponent. That's my mindset. So 6-7 right now. The 6th seed is the Minnesota Vikings, the only 7 and 6 team in this entire conference. Okay, everyone else is tied at 6 and 7 for the most part. You got a lot of teams here at 7 through 11. You have the Packers in this order, by the way. Packers, Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, Saints are all 6 and 7, and then the game behind them is both the Giants and the Bears at 5 and 8 apiece.
So then the Bucks are technically winning the South right now.
The Bucks are technically the 3-way tie is to them. The Falcons and the Saints are both the 10 and 11 at that spot. Correct. I don't know what the tiebreaker is between them at the moment, though.
Right. Well, I know the Bucks just beat the Falcons. Yeah. And based on our document, it looks like the Bucks have an extra conference win over the Falcons, too.
So right now, they have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Saints and have a better record against common opponents than the Falcons. That's why they're leading the division. Google is my friend.
Okay. So then who's your ideal playoff situation for the NFC? Let's assume that the Niners win the West.
They win the West. They win out. They get the 1 seed. I think that's very fair to say.
Let's assume that the Lions win the North and are probably the 3 seed.
Get the 3 seed. Cool.
Yes. I don't think it really matters who wins the South. Let's assume somebody does.
Let's just keep Tampa Bay there. Let's keep them there. I think they might have the realistic chance right now.
Sure. I think Tampa's my favorite team out of all.
Tampa is honestly my favorite too. Let's be real. They're more entertaining than anybody else.
Yeah. I like Atlanta. I feel like New Orleans is my least favorite of those 3 for sure.
The NFC East can stay put because technically if the Eagles win out and the Cowboys win out, the Eagles will win the division. Just so we're clear.
Yeah. So let's consider the ideal playoff situation. So obviously the ideal playoff situation for for you is that the Eagles get the 2 seed.
Yeah, that's ideal.
So let's assume that the Cowboys are the 5 seed. I think for the sake of this.
Okay.
Right? Because obviously that's the ideal.
Both teams win out. That's how it goes.
Let's assume.
That's how it will play out. Yes, correct.
Okay. So then who's your ideal 6 and 7 out of the teams who are left?
This is hard. It's really hard because I don't know what teams I like and don't like here.
It's true, because in the AFC, it feels like, gosh, there's so many teams that I like, I have to cut some. The NFC, it feels like, gosh, I don't feel like I like very many, and I have to include some.
I'll genuinely give you this, though. I think there are 4 teams here that I would like to see in the playoffs, and there's 2 very random teams I would be okay with making the playoffs as well. There are 2 teams that I do not want to touch the playoffs. That is the Falcons and the Saints. I don't want either of those teams in the playoffs. I do not think either of those teams are good football teams. I do not want to see them in the playoffs, okay? I'm content. I also don't want to see the Vikings, by the way. I really don't want them in the playoffs. And the reason being is not because I think they're bad, but because they've been hurt all year, and seeing Jettas go into the playoffs to go play the Lions is like depressing.
Yeah.
Or the Eagles, that would depress me. I'm sorry. I no Kirk Cousins, it's not fun. So, the Packers, I think it'd be really good to start your Jordan Love era with a playoff berth. I think that'd be really entertaining. I think they are fun. The Rams, I mean, come on. It's the Rams. Seattle's a fun story as well. If you have to pick between any of those 3 teams to make it, I want Seattle for sure at the 6th seed, I think. And then I want Green Bay. I think those 2 teams would be really fun to have make the playoffs. I think they would go, one of those teams would go to Philly, one of those teams would go to Detroit, and we'd have a good time. Seattle versus Philly is always good. Detroit getting to play the Packers would also be really fun. However, I'll tell you right now, I am not opposed to the Giants making the freaking playoffs, okay? If Tommy DeVito is balling like this, I'm here for it.
It would be funny. It would be funny.
You know who else I'm not opposed to making the playoffs because of the city I live in? The Chicago Bears have been playing a solid brand of football recently.
Ever since Montez Sweat got there, they're a top 5 defense.
I'm saying
in that span.
It's weird, bro. They're so solid, and it's almost like I have been saying for weeks that they need help in the trenches. I said this week 1. I was like, they don't have trench play. They suck in the trenches, and they get someone to help with that. It's almost like they're a better football team, and their corners are better because they don't have to sit there and guard people for 10 seconds. So yeah, I really like. I love what Chicago and I love what New York doing. I think it's more like wishful thinking. I don't think they get in. However, I wouldn't be opposed. Ideally, Seahawks, Packers, Rams are a close team in that. By the way, I really like. Yeah. I just don't want the Vikings. They're in, and I don't want them there.
I do want the Vikings in.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
I think they're better as a 7, in my opinion, but I do want them in.
They get to head to Philly.
Exactly, because
there's so much bad blood between those 2 teams.
Get smacked up in the wild card by whatever, I don't feel like, however this shakes up, I don't feel like the 6 or 7 really have a shot. I don't feel like they're anywhere, whoever they are anywhere close to the Cowboys, Eagles, or Niners.
I don't think anyone in this conference is close to those 3 teams.
Exactly. Like, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners are the best 3 teams in the NFC by a lot.
Yeah.
The Lions are good.
They're
a team that they're a team that could win a wild card game, that could probably win a divisional round, that could maybe make it to a conference championship.
I don't think they win a divisional round. Sorry.
I think they could. I think they could win a divisional round. I think they could go to a conference championship. I don't think they can win a conference.
I don't think
championship.
they beat the Eagles or the Cowboys because that's who they would play. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
I think if they had the right matchup
in Dallas, if we had Philly, nah.
If we had some kind of wild upset, maybe.
No, guaranteed they play the 2 seed because they win. You'd have to have the 7 seed. You basically would have to have the 7 and 6 seed win for them to host a home game against the 6 seed.
Exactly. If something like that shook out, yeah.
Oh no, they can't. They play the 6 seed. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. You would have to have the 7 seed
You'd
beat
have
the 2 seed
win,
and then you get to host a playoff game against the
7
Cowboys
seed.
Or the Eagles.
Yes.
You'd have the 5 seed because the 7 seed would go to.
Oh, it's the 5 seed.
To go to San Francisco.
Yes.
So you're still losing, except you're at home.
Exactly.
So you might be in a better spot. Anyway, yeah.
Exactly.
If the circumstances call for it, I see what you're saying.
It's possible. I don't think they would go to the Super Bowl, is my point.
I don't think they go to conference championship, but I see what you're saying.
And then I feel like whoever wins the South, I mean, they got to play either the Cowboys or the Eagles, so
their only blessing is at home.
Yeah, I don't really care if it's at home.
I was like, you mean we get to go to sunny Tampa Bay and go smack up the Bucks? Cool, man.
Yeah, so whatever.
Dallas did it last year.
So give me Minnesota and give me LA.
Okay.
I think are my favorites.
I don't disagree with that. I just like.
I
as
think
long as Gino's healthy,
Green Bay and Seattle are close. But I give me Minnesota and give me LA. I think for my favorites.
I respect it. My favorite part about the playoffs this year is if everything shakes up how exactly I want it to and how I think it's going to, this puts the Eagles as a 2 seed, correct? Mm-hmm. This is the best possible scenario for the Eagles. Now, not being a 1 seed is the best possible scenario. Now, Eric, why are you asking? Why am I saying this? He doesn't know, right? So.
Oh, I was gonna let you cook. I have a theory.
Okay. So the reason is because whoever the 2 seed is plays the 7 seed. Ideally, you beat the 7 seed.
Ideally.
The loser of the Cowboys-Eagles NFC East war is the 5 seed. They're most likely winning their playoff matchup. There's a very minimal chance that the Lions lose their game. The Lions guaranteed would go play the 2 seed at this point, which means that the 5 seed would head to San Francisco. You're telling me that if the Eagles are the 5 seed, we gotta go play San Francisco, and if we come out of the gauntlet that is San Francisco, we're gonna have to go to fucking Dallas to play the Cowboys? Hell no! Let's go home. Let's go play against Detroit. And even
absolutely.
Even if we're the 1 seed, we have home games. You're telling me that Dallas has to come to us, and then we gotta. San Francisco then comes to us, even if we give them that. Come on now.
The Eagles being the 2 seed gives them the best shot at not having to play both of them.
Correct.
I give it. Yeah.
Just play one. We just want one, not both. It's not that I'm scared. Just so we're clear, because we're gonna have to play one of them eventually.
No, it's strategy.
It's like, you want to go to the Super Bowl? Do you want to prep for one team, one juggernaut, or 2? Take your pick.
No, I get you. Like if the Broncos would make the playoffs, I hope they play the Patriots some fucking how. I get it.
Yeah, I was talking to
I want to win.
There's this guy on Twitter that we've slowly become like acquaintances. He's a Cowboy fan, and we talk about the Cowboys games all the time. The Eagles Cowboys games, like it's a great rivalry. Blah 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 blah. Right? Really nice dude. Good job, dude. Proud of you. We're teaching Winnie she does not know how to go to the bathroom outside, just so we're clear. So we've been moving her pee pad slowly to the door to try to get her out, and she just peed on it in a spot that it wasn't at yesterday, so I'm really proud of her. She's learning. She's adapting. Anyway, so we were talking about it, and I was like, listen, getting the 2 seed might be the best case scenario. He's like, there's just no way that makes sense. I'm like, listen, the extra rest is nice, right? However, I think we could go and blow out the Packers and then rest the entire team the 4th quarter and be fine. And then go and play like the Lions. And honestly, we probably could blow out the Lions. Either one of the Cowboys or Eagles could probably blow out the Lions. Rest their team in the 4th quarter. Be ready to go to San Francisco or stay. Or if we get blessed, the Cowboys win. And then they come to us. Like, I see nothing but wins there.
It's true.
It's a more favorable scenario. But yeah. Speaking of top teams, dude, Baltimore looks great. They have a full lock on the 1 seed, and honestly are 2 games above the 3 and 4 seed with the division 2 games up. And Miami lost this week, so they're a game behind. They're a game behind the Baltimore Ravens now. That top side.
Ravens go to the Super Bowl. Is the NFL rigged?
Yes.
Just confirming that.
Yeah. We remember when I said that at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
We might have to talk about that. We might have to have a serious conversation about that.
Yeah.
There's no way the NFL lets this happen now after we've discovered everyone's talking about it. There's no way they let this happen. It's gonna be like Jacksonville, fucking Detroit, just to throw everybody's sense off.
That is honestly a dub.
That's not a bad Super Bowl, but I'd be depressed.
That'd be the greatest Super Bowl of all time. That's two teams who have not only never won a Super Bowl,
they've never been. Huh.
They've never been to one.
That'd actually be kind of winnable.
That would be so fucking hype to get Jags Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess I would lose my mind.
What is that?
I guess
I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
This would be like as good as the Bengals Rams Super Bowl, which is just like, why are these two teams here? This is hilarious.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, as long as it's not the Niners and the Cowboys, I do not care if anyone else from the NFC goes. Just not those two motherfuckers.
Well, here's the thing: is who else is going from the NFC? Is you.
I know, man. Listen, Lions. Listen, we're gonna get the 5 seed. You're gonna go beat up on the Cowboys, and then we're gonna beat the Niners for you guys, and then we're gonna head to Detroit, and you're gonna beat us by a field goal at the last second. And Jared Goff is gonna go play in a second Super Bowl and lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who wins that Super Bowl?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
You think so?
Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, man, come on. He's too good. Dude, listen, if you get out of the gauntlet of the AFC, I'm almost certain you're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Niners are really good, though. I argue the Niners are the best team in football. I don't think that's an argument. I really think it's like Niners, Ravens, Cowboys, us. That's like top 4 right now.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not 100% that biased, guys. I have logic, okay? Speaking of recapping and all this fun stuff, let's go to some games. I would like to start. Is that okay?
You pop off, King.
Okay, so the Eagles played the Cowboys in Dallas. The final score of that game was 33-13. I obviously had a bad time watching this game. However, I want to point out how I am hopeful. And there's a reason why. Eric, can you guess the reasons why I'm hopeful?
Hit me with it.
We finished the gauntlet 4-2. Mm-hmm. That gauntlet of games that we had, we finished 4-2. I went into the season. Let's look at I think the only game in this gauntlet that I got wrong. I think I got 2 games wrong. I said we were losing to the Chiefs, and I said we were losing to the Cowboys in Dallas. Yeah? I think that's right at the beginning of the season. I'm gonna go double check. Let's find out. Where's my weekly? Oh, Davion's schedule. Do I just not have it? Did I I put it in a different doc or something? Oh, I had the contender thingy. Dang it.
Yeah, we did that.
Dang it. I didn't move it over to the doc yet. I did a lot of them.
If it makes you feel better,
yeah.
I can tell you mine.
Sure.
I had the Eagles losing to the Chiefs. Beating the Bills.
That's right.
Beating the Niners.
That's the wrong one. Losing to the Cowboys.
Losing to the Cowboys.
Yeah, like I feel like everyone had that. Like that felt like the most logical. You had us beating the Cowboys week 9, losing them in week 14. And now everyone's like, well, the quality of loss. I'm like, this isn't college fucking football. Okay? Listen. You lose, you win, you win. Okay? We went out, guess what? We still win the division. This game didn't matter. Okay? Now, the reason I'm hopeful is not because of the game doesn't matter, because I think fluently the game does matter at the end of the day, because winning this game would have all but locked up our playoffs. And honestly, the 1 seed at that point, because we would have been a game above the Niners still. The reason that this game, it doesn't look as bad as it is, because A.J. Brown dropped some uncharacteristic balls, fumbled. Devontae Smith dropped a touchdown uncharacteristically, fumbled. Jalen Hurts ran the ball effectively, then fumbled. These are uncharacteristic things. It's been a very uncharacteristic turnover year. We saw Lane Johnson got hit with a false start and gave up a sack. Oh my God, that's crazy, right? So there's some crazy things that have happened in this game, and the defense gave up 9 points in the second half. One of those came at the very end of the game when it didn't matter. Like a field goal just went in and whatever, right? The only touchdown from the Eagles was a Jalen Carter fumble recovery touchdown, which was really fun. I was very happy for the youngin. His D Rookie of the Year is just fluently locked up now. But the reason I'm hopeful is because we lost by 20 points. Yeah, but all the mistakes that we made, if let's say 3 out of those 5 mistakes go our way, we're up by 1 point. Or I'm sorry, we're like down by 2 with a chance to win the game at the end there. We're up by 1 instead of like you going for a field goal at the end. You make it, okay, cool, we're down 3. We have a chance to win the game now. We're playing a whole different football game. So those mistakes that were very uncharacteristic really suck. We had to settle for 2 field goals at the beginning of the game. I feel like I'm repeating myself from the Niners game, where we could have had touchdowns. Instead, we had field goals. That's just it. It's some certain play calling and execution on those plays were not very good. We had a lot of great drives with not a lot of great endings. We had 3 turnovers, a few drops, and 2 field goals. Could have been done. We definitely could have played better. And I think that's what I think at the end of the day, that's all it is just execution. The Cowboys played phenomenal. I'm not even going to sit here and act like they didn't. My biggest thing is acting like the Eagles didn't beat themselves up. Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other. I'm okay with saying that the Cowboys are great, but you cannot tell me that the Cowboys exposed the Eagles because they won by 20. Mm-hmm. You have to watch a football game from 15 minutes in the first quarter to 0-0-0 in the fourth quarter most of the time to understand. I guess in this case, you could have probably watched it till like 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter and been fine. You could have understood what happened in this game. You're not going to win them all. It's fine. It's only happened once in NFL history. You're not gonna win them all.
Yep.
Your biggest thing that you need to do is figure out what mistakes you're making. It's just ball protection. Literally 3 fumbles and a turnover on downs lost us this game. Mm-hmm. Couple drop passes. Everyone must have had Butterfingers before the game.
Maybe.
Just don't have Butterfingers in the pregame next week. Cool. That's it. That's all it is. And I'm okay with saying we got outplayed.
Yeah.
Just be better next time. Just don't fumble the ball. Please. There were 2 where we literally were like half an inch from hitting our knee on the ground too. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
Those suck. All right. SoFi Stadium was popping. Mm-hmm. Hit us with it.
Gosh, the Broncos are awfully violent.
Yes, they are. We love to see
it. And listen, man. I never thought I'd be the dude to make a conspiracy about my own team.
Yeah?
You remember Bountygate?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sean Payton's on one right now.
I was going to say, like, we're kind of doing that to a lot of guys.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's gone for the season, by the way.
And,
he had season-ending surgery.
On his finger, yes. He fractured his finger.
Which is rough.
So, Broncos played well. I can't imagine the Chargers play well when their quarterback is hurt like that. But the Broncos played pretty well. Like, we had a solid game. I wouldn't say we had a wow game. I'd say we had a solid, good game.
Yep.
I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about the Broncos game. Like, we played well. The one thing I am concerned about, though, is our injury report this week for Detroit is not great. Especially since we played Detroit on Saturday, I believe, actually. Let me verify that. Yes, we played Detroit on Saturday. I don't believe our schedule or our doc reflects that.
Say it one more time? I'm so sorry.
Yes, there are games on Saturday this week. Our schedule does not reflect that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They do not.
But Broncos played Lions on Saturday this week.
That's fun.
So that's one less day to get healthy. But PJ Locke is on the injury report. Jonathan Cooper is on the injury report. And there was one other really big one. I can't remember off the top of my head.
There are 3 games on Saturday? Dude, there's some big ones.
Vikings, Bengals, Steelers, Colts, Broncos, Lions.
These are all
all of those are playoff teams. There's all important games. All 6 of those teams playing on Saturday are playoff teams.
Oh, the Bucks play the Packers Wait, there's so many crazy. I didn't realize how many important games there were this week. Giants play the Saints. Texans play the Titans. Niners play the Cardinals. No, I'm kidding. Commanders play the Rams. That's actually more important than people want to give credit to. Ravens, Jags play this week. Eagles, Seahawks, of course, is important. Bills, Cowboys is important. Wow, there are a lot of good games this week.
Yeah. Well, I'm done. I'm done with the Broncos. Do you want to maybe make some predictions for those games coming up this week?
Is that all we have to talk about? Because I think there's one special
that's true.
Italian man.
We got to talk about the boy.
about.
Have you seen his touchdown celebration thing?
Yes, I'm doing it right
with
now.
With the finger. Oh my! I'm doing it right now too. Cool. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Oh, dude, Tommy DeVito is cooking, man. Hey, listen, do you have to have a serious discussion about this Daniel Jones contract that, there's another NFC East team that may or may not have done something very similar with a quarterback that no longer actually is a backup quarterback for LA, the Carson Wentz situation. Is this a situation where you consider playing DeVito and try to build around that the rookie contract?
Well, Tommy is going to play the rest of the season as long as he's playing well.
Well, he's going to play the rest of the season anyway because Daniel Jones is done.
But Tyrod is the point.
Anyway, DeVito's cooking. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, if the Giants finish the season strong, maybe finish like 8-9.
What if they
go 3-1 in these last 4 games? Maybe even make a wild card game. There's absolutely a quarterback competition happening next year. For sure, dude.
Yeah, he came in November 5th with no expectations. Lost to the Raiders, lost to the Cowboys. I think they lost to the Raiders. But then he came in against the Commanders and put up 246, 3 touchdowns. Patriots, 191, a touchdown. Packers, 158 and a touchdown, winning all those games.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's amazing. And I mean, listen, he has a chance to keep this train rolling up until next week.
Yep. I mean, there's absolutely a conversation next year if Tommy DeVito plays well these last few games about moving on from Daniel Jones.
Yeah, especially with the contract. I mean, come on.
It's something we said that they should have done last year.
They should have just let him go.
And then they paid him
it out, and then they paid him a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at Daniel Jones's contract.
It's not very Giants friendly, I'll tell you that much.
This contract is a 4-year, $160 million contract. Mm-hmm. Daniel Jones is getting paid a base salary of $1.08 million this year and had a $9 million signing bonus. Next season, he'll be getting paid $35.5 million with a $9 million signing bonus. He has a cap hit of $47 million next year. The year after that, he actually is a potential out of the contract of $76.5 million for the remainder of the deal. However, they would take on a $22.21 million dead cap hit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll tell you, when the Eagles did that, it was the best thing they could have done. I know, and just so we're clear, I love Carson Wentz.
It was the smartest decision they could have made.
It was such a good decision because they cut him, they took the dead cap on, literally went out and did a bunch of minor stuff, had Jalen Hurts on the back burner, started him. They actually made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
yeah,
here we are today. Paying people. Swift, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Slay. Love that.
Look at you go.
Love that. So, hey, New York. You got a team right there. Did it. Same thing.
Who knows?
Who knows? I think it's worth, depending on what you do. Honestly, if Daniel Jones comes out and fires like he did, I mean, they're going to be playing like weaker teams now because they're not going to be as strong, but they still have to play the Eagles you have to play the Eagles and the Cowboys twice a year. So those 4 hard games guaranteed. We'll see how that goes. All right. Do you have anything else to add about the DeVito situation? I think they're great. I think he's doing phenomenal.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's great. I love it. All right, DeVito, keep cooking, my friend. Keep cooking the gabagool. All right.
The cutlets, man. Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets. That nickname was from Saquon, and I think it's hilarious. I love that. All right, now we can make some predictions. All
right, let's do it. Thursday night football. We got a showdown out west.
Yeehaw!
The Chargers and the Raiders. We got Easton Stick taking on Aiden O'Connell. Have you seen the memes?
Yeah, this is a rough matchup.
We got Easton Stick, which they've said is a picture of an Easton brand hockey stick, taking on Aiden O'Connell, where they have AOC. That's the quarterback matchup this Thursday. Is a politician
and a hockey stick.
And a hockey stick.
Love it.
Which is funny to me.
Love it.
Raiders are at home. I feel like the Raiders, even with the situation that both these teams are in, are the better team, actually, overall. I think the Raiders need to kind of get back to those first few wins they had with Antonio Pierce and get back into that like true Raider form. And I think this is the time to do it against a Chargers team that's coming off of a huge injury and is kind of reeling a little bit because of it. So give me Vegas.
Yeah, I also took Vegas for the same reasons. I think losing Justin Herbert really hurts you. Keenan Allen was also ruled out this week, by the way. So they're without some of their best players. So I think that is going to hurt them dearly. Mike Williams is already out for the year. Who else do they have on this offense? Austin Eckler hasn't looked like himself. Give me the Raiders.
Okay. Saturday morning?
10
a.m.
10 a.m.?
Over here on the West Coast.
It's noon. All right, well, that's not so absurd.
Vikings, Bengals. These are two potentially outside looking in playoff teams, with the exception of the Vikings. They're technically in looking out, weirdly enough. Who need a win to stay alive in the playoff race.
Yep, I think them
since
dropping
he's at home,
rough.
Since he's at home, it kind of feels like the Vikings' Josh Dobbs Cinderella story is over now that Nick Mullins is starting. Give me the Bengals.
I'm also going to take the Bengals. I really like what Jake Browning's doing in the replacement of Joe Burrow. I don't think he has the talent Joe Burrow does, so I wouldn't put any question marks on that. I think Joe Burrow's still amazing. But I really like what with the weapons he has, what he's doing with them, and how he's making it work. And I don't think the Vikings can compete with that. I think the Bengals also need this win more than the Vikings do, from just a pure competitive standpoint, wanting to make the playoffs. Moving up to 8-6 would be their record, versus 7-7 is very hard for the Bengals. So 8-6 is ideal. You can still get in really pretty contentive. You can be very competitive there. So I want to go with them. The Vikings, even if you lose, you're realistically not out because you'll be tied with everyone else that's underneath you if those people win.
Yep.
Dude, our game's not in order, so I'm thrown off. It's throwing me off.
I got you. I'm
Steelers
cooking.
at Colts.
Steelers at Colts. Two AFC teams that need a win to stay alive in the AFC playoff race. Two teams currently with backup quarterbacks. I don't believe Kenny Pickett is back. It will be Mitch Trubisky. Gardner Minshew, who's been the starter for a while now in Indy, will be out there. No JT either for Indy. It doesn't seem like he's back yet. So you got two teams who are a little bit injury-ridden. And right now I feel like of the two teams, the better team is the home team. So give me Indy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that I don't want Indy in the playoffs. I low-key don't want either of these teams in the playoffs based off of what I've seen from the Steelers, but I think Indy's a really solid football team and wouldn't be surprised if they get in at this point. So I'll give me the Colts to win this football game.
Sweet. Okay. And then Saturday nights, we got Broncos, we got Lions in Detroit.
Time.
We were saying this for a while now with the Broncos bias over here on my department, that this is the most important game to finish the year. This is by far the toughest game because next week we got Patriots. Week after we got the Chargers again. Week after we got the Raiders, a week 1 rematch.
Also, the Chargers game probably is much better since you don't have to deal with Justin Herbert.
And it's in Denver.
And then going to
Raiders
Vegas
game
isn't that bad because it's
our Raiders game is in Vegas, exactly. Because it's not the same Raiders we played week 1.
Exactly.
So, here's the thing. We win this game, there's a possibility we finish 11-6. We lose this game, there's a possibility we finish 10-7. That might be the difference between making the playoffs and missing the playoffs with how tight the AFC is right now. So, I'm going to go with Denver on the road. I feel like they are a little bit hotter of a team and they need it more than Detroit does. I think they're going to try more. Is it a little bit of Broncos bias? Probably, but I don't care. I'm going with Denver.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to go with Denver, honestly, because I think Detroit is having a weird time right now. Jared Goff hasn't looked the best, and now you're going to go home, maybe get a little bit of home cooking. However, you have to go play Broncos, whose secondary has been phenomenal recently. And Jared Goff hasn't been doing well in throwing the ball. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions. I'm gonna take Denver just because they're hot. I mean, they've won 5 of their last 6, man.
Mm-hmm.
6 of their last 7.
They have the best record. They have the best record in the NFL over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, they're what? They've won 6 of the last 7 games, actually, because they're on a 5-game winning streak, lost, and then won last week. So 6 of the last 7, man. Give it to them.
Okay. Sunday. Not in this order. We're just doing the order straight off of our sheet.
Thank you.
Bear with us. Bears-Browns.
Weird matchup. This is a
weird matchup for sure.
So the Bears have been looking really good on defense ever since they've gotten the Montez Sweat trade. Surprisingly, the Browns look better once Deshaun Watson's not playing. I don't know how to put this, but they looked clean. I guess better is not the right word. The Browns are home. I really like what Cleveland's doing. I genuinely am picking this as an upset. Give me Chicago to win on the road in Cleveland this week.
I think that's
Midwest showdown.
It's an upset for sure, and I don't think it's the worst upset out of the world you could have picked. I almost did the exact same thing. I'm going with Cleveland at home.
Yeah, a little Midwest showdown, you know? I like it.
Fair enough, yeah. Okay, we got a South matchup. Falcons, Panthers. Panthers are ass, man.
Yeah, we don't like picking the Falcons, but I'm doing it this week anyway.
I'm going. Give me the Birds. Give me Atlanta.
The dirty birds. Wow.
Okay, Giants, Saints. Giants are hot, but they're on the road in New Orleans. It's not an easy place to play in. The Saints are reeling. I don't know what the situation with Derek Carr is, because I think Derek Carr has more injuries than like the entirety of the Baltimore Ravens in the past 7 years.
Yes.
Like I don't even know how he's still walking.
Yeah, he's struggling. I don't understand.
So I don't know what the situation is in New Orleans. I think New York is hot, so give me the Giants.
I'm also going to take the Giants. I think this is also an upset because even if it's not Derek Carr, it's Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. And I think he's solid.
Yeah, famous Jameis is not the worst.
Yeah. There are throws that Jameis Winston makes that Derek Carr wouldn't even consider just because of the fact that there's potential interceptions, but that's why Jameis Winston has been...
Because Jameis Winston don't care. Famous Jameis 30 for 30, yes, he's throwing interceptions. That's what he does.
Yeah, but he's also throwing TDs, so you got to factor that in. So I'm going to take the Giants because I just...
Perfectly
you know
balanced.
Why I'm doing it.
That's all things should be.
You know why I'm doing it.
It's for the Italians.
It's absolutely... I want the showdown in Philly next week to be fun on Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
That'll be fun for sure.
Just want that to be a good time. Dude, Niners, I'm going to be literally Christmas, I'm going to be glued. I'm going to be glued to my chair. I'm going to watch the Giants Eagles, and then I'm going to be like, give me the Ravens Niners game. We have a chance for the 1 seed again.
Okay. Tampa, Green Bay, in Lambeau.
In Lambeau.
This is an interesting game because you got 2 6 and 7 teams who are both in the playoffs for very different reasons.
Correct.
Right now. This is a tough call, honestly.
Is it?
And ultimately, this is going to be played on December 17th. It's really fucking cold in Wisconsin.
Yes.
And I don't think Tampa's ready for that. I feel like of these two teams, Green Bay's a little bit hotter, plus it's in Green Bay, so I'm going with the Packers.
Okay. I understand you. I understand what you're saying. I'm also going to take the Packers. You thought I was going to disagree with you, huh?
I did for a second.
I agree. I don't know about the cold, but I just think the Packers are a better football team right now. Tampa's great and all, but I like what Green Bay does. I'm sorry, not NFC. This is an AFC East showdown coming up next. The Jets are going to play the Dolphins.
This is an interesting matchup. The Dolphins are good. The Jets are not. It's in Miami. This feels like a recipe for success for the Dolphins.
This feels the Jets like
the Jets are relying on this being a trap game. Exactly.
I was gonna say I feel like this is a trap game, man. I really feel like it is. I'm not taking the Jets. I'm of course taking the Dolphins because why wouldn't I? Is the real question. However, it feels like a trap game. I don't know what it is about this game. Just feels trappy.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough. Okay.
Wait, who are you taking?
Dolphins.
I feel like I didn't hear you. You might be cutting in and out for me a little bit.
Maybe. I'm definitely taking Miami. Okay, we got Houston, we got Tennessee. Another AFC South matchup. Houston is probably the better team. They're on the road in Tennessee without a few key pieces potentially, though. So this just became a game. Especially after the Titans' pretty exciting win over the Dolphins last night or
awesome.
last week.
Awesome. Great win. Come from behind, win by 1. Went for 2, down 8. I love it.
This was a tough game for me. I think with CJ Stroud's situation up in the air, no Tank Dell, possibly no Nico Collins. I don't know what Nico Collins' situation is.
He's questionable.
He's questionable.
I think he's going to play.
I'm going to do it. I'm taking the Titans.
I'm also taking the Titans. That was a pretty easy one for me. I'm sorry. I didn't feel
this is a tough one.
I don't like the Texans on the road in Tennessee right now just because of their health issues. And their defense has been kind of chopped Swiss cheese lately. I almost said chopped cheese. Swiss cheese lately. So I'm going to give it to Tennessee.
Okay. Chiefs. Patriots is what I have.
I have a game.
I think I fixed that for you too.
I have a game.
On the sheet, yeah.
It's on the sheet. It's physically on the sheet.
Chiefs, right?
Yeah, Chiefs.
Cool. Niners, Cardinals.
Back. This is another. It's on the sheet. Niners. On the sheet. Move on.
Yeah, Niners. Commies and Rams. This one's interesting.
This one's a little more interesting, but I also
I feel like also is a game on the list. Yeah, give me the Rams.
Yeah, it's in LA, man. Give me the Rams.
Cowboys Bills. Now this is a game.
Football game.
This is a game.
This is a football game.
So you got the Cowboys on the road in Buffalo. I think the Cowboys are the better team.
Yes, they are.
But it's in Buffalo against the Bills, who aren't bad.
Yes, it is.
At all. I think right now the Cowboys are riding high off of beating the Eagles. And I think they keep that momentum. I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Bills.
Okay, so this is my logic too. I want to pick the Cowboys. I think I have every bone in every fiber of my being is like, Davion, pick the Cowboys. But then on my way home from work today, I decided to listen to some music. And while I was listening to that music, I realized what songs were playing. It was the Philadelphia Eagles Christmas album. And after hearing Jordan Mailata and Jordan Davis's angelic voices, I just couldn't willingly pick the Cowboys to win a football game. That's not at all what happened. I actually think Buffalo wins this game. It's at home. If it wasn't at home, I wouldn't give them a chance. So the Cowboys have been a notorious team that have not played well on the road this season. I don't know if you've seen that statistic stuff. When they play a somewhat decent team, they have not done well on the road. Okay. At home, they're phenomenal. On the road, they do not put up nearly as much points. I think Buffalo has the will to put up a lot of points. We saw what they did against Philly. We saw what happened against the Chiefs last night, or this week. We saw what happened the week before that. They played another team. Am I missing? Or was that the Eagle game? No. They played... Who did they play? They were on bye week. That's what it was. Ever since they come out of bye, it looks really strong. I really like what they did against the Chiefs on Sunday. I'm going to take the Bills.
I don't hate it.
This may be a little bit of copium, because I want the Cowboys to lose football games so the Eagles look a little bit better in this scenario. But I don't think them losing football games, like regardless if they lose or not, we win out, we're in. So the Eagles control their fate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pick the Bills though, because I think the Bills need the win and their desire to win in their home. They're home. That's the big difference right now. Buffalo is not warm.
No, it is not. All right, Sunday night football. It's an interesting Sunday night football matchup. I think it's fun.
It's a great game.
A little bit quirky, a little bit silly.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
You got Baltimore in Jacksonville. Baltimore is 10-3, best team in the AFC. Jaguars are 8-5, fourth best team in the AFC. Definitely no pushover, especially with the fact that it's in beautiful Duval County, Florida.
Duval.
But Baltimore is so hot right now.
Super spicy.
And I'm going to go with them to win on the road.
I also took Baltimore to win on the road this week. I think Baltimore is doing their thing. Jacksonville losing this game could be detrimental, but I don't know if they lose their division because of it. So,
yeah, I mean, you got what? Indy playing Pittsburgh and Houston playing Tennessee.
Yeah, I think you guys are okay for now.
It'll be fine.
But it's going to be closer than after this week than we wanted to.
But, I mean, we realistically could potentially see 3 teams in the AFC South all sitting at 8-6 at the end of the week.
Yep, correct.
Which is fun. Okay, recently flexed into Monday Night Football is Eagles and Seahawks. The Seahawks are a little bit injury-ridden. We don't know the full situation going on in Seattle.
I'm pretty sure Gino's not playing.
But did you see this statistic? last 7 games between the Eagles and the Seahawks. Do you know the Eagles' record?
I'm pretty sure we're 0-7. We haven't beat them in a long time.
0-7 in the last 7 games that the Eagles have played the Seahawks.
Yeah, we haven't played them in a while, or we haven't beat them in a long time. And I remember this because it dated back to, or it goes really far back, but it was like the year we won the Super Bowl, we also lost them in the regular season. And then got cucked on in the playoffs the following year. And we lost them in the same regular season matchup. Same scoreline, by the way, 17-9. I will not forget that. We lost them like the season before last, too, when we were doing terrible. We were 9-8. We lost them. The year we went 4-11, we lost to them. Like, there was a lot of time. Like, recent memory, I remember the games we lost to them. So, yeah. However, it's a different team.
It is a different team. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
This is not Russell Wilson.
No, I'm going with the Eagles.
Either Geno Smith or Drew Lock.
This is Drew Lock.
Side note,
that's former Denver Broncos quarterback Drew Lock.
Why is DK Metcalf still unsuspended? We definitely think he should get a suspension, right? 1 game, just
for sure.
2 quarters, you know. Anyway, DK or not, I'm taking the Eagles to win this game. The Eagles are off of really bad back-to-back losses, right? After a team that's gone 5-10, they were 10-1 prior to Week 13. The Eagles had not lost back-to-backs since 2021. We didn't lose back-to-backs last season. And we didn't. This was the first time we lost back-to-back games. To be fair, this was probably the hardest back-to-back games we could have had in our lives. Last few years. No way they lose back-to-back games. Even if they're in Seattle. Can't do it.
Yep.
Can't do it. They're not doing it. They're winning. And I'm pretty sure they clinch a playoff spot if they win this week, by the way.
So then we have 2 games different, I believe. Cowboys, Bills, and Bears, Browns.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm taking the Raiders, Bengals, Colts, Broncos, Browns, Falcons, Giants, Packers, Dolphins, Titans, Chiefs, Niners, Rams, Cowboys, Ravens, Eagles this week.
Yes, and I am taking the Raiders, Bears, Falcons, Colts, Broncos, Bengals, Giants, Packers, Dolphins, Titans, Chiefs, Niners, Rams, Bills, Ravens, Eagles.
Not in that order, but yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It hurts my head, man.
It's okay.
So I'm looking at some playoff clinching scenarios. Dallas clinches a playoff berth just by winning this week, or Seattle plus Rams losses, and then like a bunch of other scenarios where they can clinch. Baltimore can clinch a playoff spot this week. However, they need like
8,000 things to happen.
Not really. They need a win, and then they need a Buffalo and Denver loss. Denver, Cleveland loss. Denver, Pitt. Denver, Houston. Buffalo, Cleveland. Any combination of those real teams, you know? Just 2 of any of the combination they get in. Detroit actually can clinch a playoff spot with some crazy stuff. Philly just clinches with a win, and San Francisco clinches the NFC West title with a win or the Rams losing their game. So they could be the first team to clinch a home playoff game this week. So yeah.
All right.
That is the end. That's the end of the podcast this week. I need the Eagles to go out and win a football game this week. And honestly, I'd really appreciate if the Broncos went out and won a football game and the Bills went out and won a football game this week. Those 3 games, if those 3 things happen, I feel so good about being a Philadelphia Eagles fan coming week 16 into the podcast for our Christmas episode. You have no idea.
That'd be sweet.
You have no idea. All right. That is all I have to say today. Eric, any closing remarks from you, my man?
It's an American classic, dude. I got nothing.
Beautiful. With that, we are going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and enjoying everywhere you do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and do all the fun stuff, and share it with your family. We appreciate you guys over here at Behind the Plays, and I love every second of doing this, even though the Eagles are coming off of back-to-back L's. I now feel what Eric has felt for the last few years, huh?
Dude, get used to it.
No, we're not losing.
We're gonna be 80. We're gonna be 80 and decrepit, and the Eagles are gonna be dog shit. And I'm gonna be like, ha ha. And then
you're like,
yeah, exactly.
All right, well, that is it from us. My name is Davion. That is Eric. This is Behind the Plays, and we are out of here. Peace.
See ya.